Framed in the gun sight of a rifle is a man on whose life depends on peace of the entire world. When suddenly, Joseph Clayton is now dead. A tense world listened to the news. In Gateway City Hospital. As you know, doctors, I've been experimenting with a new anesthetic which may permit us to operate safely. It's never been fully tested. The doctors agreed. For 3 hours, Joseph Clayton hovers between life and death as the country's most brilliant surgeons operate. Suddenly, the operating room door bursts open. With ferocious swings of his heavily muscled arms, he clears the path before him. After the mysterious giant races off down the hall, the surgeons notice that the ambassador has gone. A little later, Detective Jim Corrigan drives past the costume shop. He noticed the man matches the APB. The tires reinflated itself as if by magic. The Spectre picked a fine time to be off, says Corrigan. He stops at the statue of Gateway City. Corrigan sees the pirate ripping the fence with his bare hands. But then suddenly, Corrigan hits him from behind. The pirate turns around and punches Corrigan back and reveals his name to be Captain Skull. Captain Skull levitates in the air and swoops down and attacks Corrigan. Captain Skull then picks up the statue, when suddenly, a ghostly hand appears. The Spectre has arrived. Captain Skull swooshes down to the Spectre as he moves out the way. The Spectre senses a force that weakens his spectral powers. His new game plan is to not be touched by Captain Skull. So he yanks a tree out of the ground and swings it, only for Captain Skull to shred it to pieces. The Spectre then takes out a sword. Captain Skull controls another sword telepathically. He flees as the sword continues to fight the Spectre. The Spectre then hides inside the statue and brings the statue to life. He then leaves the statue and chases after Captain Skull, but he is nowhere to be found. The Spectre then calls out onto Jim Corrigan. He says by visiting the astral dimension they are able to get some answers. The Spectre enters the astral world. Wrenched out of time, the pirate's psychic soul became inundated by mega-cyclic forces as it traveled to reach the ambassador's body. Displaced in time roused to life where he lay latent with Joseph Clayton, the reincarnated spirit of Captain Skull had become so powerful it was able to transform the ambassador's features. Unfortunately, not even the spectral powers can stop the mega-cyclic power possessed by Captain Skull. Yet, unless he is defeated, he will become a modern-day pirate and loot and steal without hope of anyone stopping him. And unless you exorcise Captain Skull from Ambassador Clayton's body, war will erupt on Earth. I found several references to a real Captain Skull who lived between 1710 and 1764, who robbed and looted in the ship Bonaventure in the Caribbean Sea. Listen to what I found in the astral dimension, says the Spectre. The next day on a special jet plane carrying a shipment of diamonds, Captain Skull rushes to the plane, only to be met by the Spectre. As the Spectre smashes 2 rocks against Captain Skull, Captain Skull now battles on the Spectre. Around and around, faster and faster rips the spectral cloak, setting influx the mystic energies of time and space. Captain Skull cannot escape the time tornado. It holds him and grips him like a magnet, until the flow of time snaps to a halt. We are in the year 1751. The very moment in time and space that you bury the treasures of your body venture in the sands of what is destined to be Gateway City. Now, with the ripples from my cloak, I shall expel your evil spirit from the body of the man you usurped, back into the real body, and so end this noxious nightmare. With lightning speed, the transmigrated spirit of Captain Skull bursts free of the fleshly bonds, glowing with mega cyclic energy which fuels the time funnel. The energy travels them back in time. Captain Skull explains how he used to be Sir Guy the Cruel centuries ago. Skull claims with his newfound abilities he can roam back and forth across time. The Spectre has been fascinated but helpless as Sir Guy is still imbued with the mega cyclic energy. The Spectre thinks of what to do. Below, Sir Guy lifts his sword, signaling the charge. A sunbeam momentarily blinds Sir Guy, and Spectre takes his chance. As the mailed and armored might of the robber baron thunders behind him in the charge of one of his warriors is the Spectre. Even as Sir Guy senses victory, the disguised Spectre lifts his war mace. Having touched that mega cyclic energy in its weakened state, I can now grasp the energy of spirit of Captain Skull without harm, and yank it out of Sir Guy's body. Gripping the spirit of Captain Skull, the Spectre darts into the vortex, which has flattened into the shape of a massive wheel. Captain Skull is awakened and tries to escape to a different time. Instantly, for time is of no duration within the wheel of time. The spirit of evil pirates takes refuge in the body of Paris, Prince of Troy, as he is abducting Helen. Captain Skull slays the Greek hero Achilles, only to be met by the Spectre once again. Drive back into the time wheel, Captain Skull's spirit summons up the very motes of time, hurls them at the Spectre. Skull summons a cosmic winds that nearly defeats the Spectre. As the cosmic winds washes through the Spectre, he summons up all his powers that resides in his body and stretches it out until the solar system is nothing but a speck below him. Billions of light years into space reaches the Spectre until he touches the heart of a quasar. He bathes in the mega cyclic power of the quasar. Imbued with the energy, he is now able to touch Captain Skull. Captain Skull is now trapped in his own body, deprived of the mega cyclic powers. When the spirit of Captain Skull abandoned Joseph Clayton, the ambassador's body returned to its own form, and because of that energy spirit within him, his body was healed of its own wound. Back at Jim Corrigan's apartment, in his previous incarnations, Joseph Platten served the forces of evil, says Corrigan. But today, thanks to fate or providence, he has served as an ambassador of good, says the Spectre. And that concludes the story.